I said goodbye to my dying husband. Then I heard the truth. I had just kissed my dying husband's forehead and whispered goodbye, believing our love story had come to a painful but peaceful end. But as I walked out of the hospital room, two nurses spoke, and what I heard made me stop dead in my tracks. My world didn't just shatter, it erupted in fire. After 42 years of marriage, I thought I knew everything about Daniel. He was kind, faithful, and always made me feel safe. So when cancer took hold, I stayed by his side. Every chemo, every sleepless night, every tear, I was there. On that morning, I knew it was time. I held his frail hand, kissed his forehead, and whispered, "Wait for me, my love." I walked out of the ICU with a heavy heart, thinking grief was the only thing I'd face that day, until I passed the nurses' station. Two young nurses, chatting quietly, didn't notice me behind the half-open door. "Did you hear? That's the guy who's been living a double life." "Yeah. His mistress visited just yesterday with his other kids." Imagine dying while your wife knows nothing. Poor woman. I froze. My hands began to shake. No, that couldn't be my Daniel. Mistress? Other kids? But their voices, they mentioned his name, his room, his cancer, my husband. I didn't cry, I didn't scream. I turned around, walked straight to the hospital administrator, and asked to check visitor logs. One name stood out, a woman I'd never heard of, listed as family. And that's when I unraveled the truth. Daniel had another life. For over 20 years, he maintained an affair with a woman in Portland, just 3 hours from our home in Seattle. 2 teenage boys carried his name. The trust fund I thought we built together split secretly 4 ways. I was just the face of the legal wife, the backup plan. So I did what any scorned wife with a sharp brain and a legal power of attorney would do. I cancelled the funeral. I froze every joint account. I called the mistress and offered her something she didn't expect. The ashes. "I'm sure he lied to you too," I said, "so you can have what's left." Then I donated his beloved vintage car to a junkyard and sold every piece of real estate tied to his name, sending every cent to cancer research and domestic abuse shelters. Why shelters? Because emotional betrayal is violence too. And finally, I rewrote my will. Everything now goes to causes Daniel hated. I even bought a billboard near his mistress's home that reads, "Not every love story ends in forgiveness." Months later, I found out he had planned to leave me once his health recovered. He drafted divorce papers just before the diagnosis, hoping to live out his remaining years with the other family. His death saved me the humiliation of finding out while alive. Want more stories where karma doesn't just knock, it kicks down the door? Hit subscribe to this channel for real-life revenge tales that will leave your jaw on the floor.